Dear human being, beloved soul, I welcome you to my podcast series, Conversations with the Universe. After a near-death experience, my perception of our human existence changed profoundly. I became more sensitive, with all our known senses. I feel more intensely, see people with different eyes, and often take a different perspective on life and our challenges. In my books, I share these altered perspectives and all the knowledge that has flowed through me since my near death and thus record it. For all those who are searching for something more, for the meaning of our existence here on Mother Earth. And it is now a great pleasure for me to share this knowledge with you in this way as a supplement to my books. This season I am dedicating myself to my very first work, the basics of being. I wish you many wonderful insights on your path. Thank you. Love.
First, a quick note about my network, SPINE. This is short for the Spiritual Network and is the first global social media network for holistic knowledge, awareness, spirituality, and above all, a bridge between providers and seekers. I invite you to join us and connect with me there. Feel free to look around, find lots of podcasts, events, healers, but above all, lots of inspiration to grow. It's free. But now, let's start with today's episode.
In your childhood, it is alive and alert. It follows impulses, is full of fantasies and carefree hopes. It knows no existential fears and no calculation. It is simple. It is happy today and perhaps sad tomorrow. It has complete trust in the world and in the fact that it is protected and sheltered in this world. It is full of energy to conquer the world and love life playfully. It is hungry for life and eager to learn. It is without prejudice and full of joy toward people and life. Your inner child lives in your childhood more freely than ever again. We have all experienced how it feels, how it thinks, and how it hopes. Some for a short time during their childhood, others for longer, some even until the end of their lives. But life has a different story in store for everyone, and for most people, this inner child begins to fade into oblivion at the latest when they enter the so-called serious phase of life, known as school. Exam anxiety, social pressure, and the growing ego force the inner child in us, with all its immeasurable joy and strength, to its knees. Worries creep into our lives and fears begin to guide our impulses. The head decides based on reason, and this is called growing up. But as always, in our unconscious world, no one does anything to ensure that we are allowed to experience and learn from this growing up with the help of our inner child. Our world teaches us that there is only one way or the other. Either you remain a child forever, in which case you will supposedly never amount to anything in this world, or you start making sensible decisions, but then you will have to let the inner child in you die. But as is so often the case, this view is only half the truth. The inner child does not necessarily have to go away just so that we can survive in the big wide world. The opposite is true. The inner child is a source of strength, joie de vivre, and above all creativity that you must never allow yourself to be deprived of. It is the inner child that can dwell in fantasy worlds and communicate with other beings there. It is the inner child who, defying ignorance, does everything that comes honestly from the heart. And it is the inner child who can curiously activate all the powers within you to achieve something in your life. It is the deepest source of strength within you, harboring infinite potential for curiosity. All the inventions in this world have come about because of the curiosity of this inner child. That is why it is of utmost importance that you rediscover your inner child in order to create your life in a fulfilled and playful way. The path to the inner child can look completely different for everyone. One person may rediscover it through a picture they paint, and the joy of painting reawakens the long-forgotten power of joy. Another may devote themselves to a hobby in which they simply experience joy and rediscover the exchange of common interests with like-minded people. Still others find their inner child through the love of a partner, the love for their own child or for other people. But in this case, the how is really not important. The main thing is that it happens. The main thing is that joy finds its way back to you and you find your way back to it, because only there is the source of an infinitely great power, the power of life. The inner child can bring this joy of life back to you. It gives you the experience of abundance in the form of feelings of happiness. It will give you back the hope that everyday life has taken away from you. And it will give you ideas on how to make your life even more colorful and beautiful. Take a close look at people who have lots of ideas and actually realize them. You will find that these people consciously nurture their inner child and everything that it is, hopes for, desires, and dreams of. In doing so, they create a space in which these impulses can come to life. This space can become as big and wide as a whole new world in which all the ideas and fantasies of the inner child can live over time. That is where peace, joy, laughter, and devotion reside. That is where all the answers you cannot find when you turn on your head and ask yourself why you are not happy reside. The inner child knows, so open yourself to this experience and it will open you up to everything you really are and can be. Visualization. In a relationship with a loved one, I advise you to look at photos where you can see him or her as a child. Look at these pictures for a long time and imagine that this little being from back then still lives in your partner's body, just as it lives in you. The two of you can meet and experience a whole new level of joy, trust, childlikeness, and playfulness. It will also become more difficult to hurt this little being that you have discovered in the other person. Whatever betrayal, lies, or aggression you send out toward your partner will also hit this little being inside them and hurt them deeply. The inner child is the most powerless but most honest part of us, and your inner child will have to experience the reflection of your actions in just as cruel a way. So make sure that these parts of your being are respected and, above all, lived in their most beautiful form. Didn't Jesus once say in the Bible, "and become like children again"? Well, he too surely knew the truth of this source and what a great revelation it brings. So don't be afraid to go out into the world naive, full of joy, strength, curiosity, and courage. Your inner child has many surprises in store for you, but above all, it will help you on your journey to yourself, to truly open up and trust. As you know, this is the foundation for everything else in your life. Let me summarize. Your inner child will give you back your laughter. Joy will give you strength. Strength will help you surrender. Surrender will give you pleasure. Trust will give you opportunities. Your openness to all of this will open up a new, more fulfilling life for you. Be ready.
Thank you very much for listening, and I would like to remind you to join our community Spine. We are a community that wants to help you live a healthier life, practice your spirituality, and expand your consciousness. We help you find and connect with healers around the world, and we help you give your life a new meaning in different ways. We are Spine, connections that help.